And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bold, Beautiful Me Spotlight and Recap. I'm your host, James Lott Jr., and we are here. It's our 5-year anniversary of this show. So everybody, let's see if we can raise a glass. If you have a glass on you or a can or whatever you can show. Happy anniversary to everybody. Thank you.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Happy anniversary.
This is, I call it White Caribbean.
Ooh.
There's rum in it, I'm gonna tell you. But because I'm on a special keto kind of based diet, it has no sugar, cranberry juice, and somebody else there's no sugar. So it's pure alcohol. It's really good. So as you can see, folks, my co-hosts, Tami Amanda Russ, and our buddy, friend of the show, he's back, and we got lots to talk to him about, Mr. Lawrence. Hi, Lawrence.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Okay. So the chat room is up. People are watching already. It's coming in already. Hello, everybody. Coming in hot. Hello, everybody. Come on in. The water's fine. I can do the church like I always do. Church announcements. So yes, that was me on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Here we go. So yes, my life has been changed forever. He wants to have me back on. My show rundown is back there. He signed is back there. So people are asking where you can find it. It's on abc.com. Go to May 12th. Wanda Sykes, who else talked to me too, is the main guest on there. Or go to Hulu. You go to Hulu and show Jimmy Kimmel Live episodes in there too, but it's for May 12th. That's the one I was on. I made history as his only first guest audience member in 14 months.
Wow.
So, who gets to make history? Who gets to make history on TV? I mean, that doesn't happen very often. So kind of crazy. So that was me for sure. So you can go ahead and watch. People ask me, you can see it out there. Or go on my social media, you can see my little clips. Also, on Friday was our 4-year anniversary of Bold Beautiful Rewind. So cheers to that. Cheers to that. Heather Tom as the guest on that one. So we love Miss Heather. Go ahead and listen to that. I love Heather. So go listen. We had a lot of laughs. We were drinking. We had a good time. So have a good time and watch that. Listen to that one that's on every streaming service right there. Coming up after this show, it's my 6-year anniversary with General Hospital mini spotlight. Cheers to that. We'll be talking about all kinds of things going on that show and the 6 years of me, Frank and Lucretia fighting with each other on camera. We love that. That's on at 4 o'clock. We always have a good time over there. And then also I did a GH30 Deeds with a great actor named Dan White. He plays Elijah Crow on General Hospital. And it turns out he and I might be related. We're gonna actually be seriously. We're actually gonna look because I was like, "You look like my people in Louisiana." He goes, "I'm from Louisiana." So it's this whole thing. We're gonna try to find out see if we're actually related. But Dan White's a great guy. He was in Barbershop, the TV show years ago. He does all kind of stuff, and he's a great actor. And we had some great insight into this character and all the melanin that's happening on General Hospital these days. And our show, we're going to talk about that. They had a talk about being Black in America on the show. The Black characters talked about it, and it got controversy. I don't know if you saw that, Lawrence, online.
I saw it online, yeah.
So we're going to address that on today's show, too. I have a lot to say about that, obviously. We're going to talk about that. But that's Dan White, and he's great, and he's on GH3D, so he's out. And again, we want to thank the folks 2 weeks ago. Our Y&R Bold Beautiful crossover episode did so well that we're going to bring it back again sometime. When time is right, we'll bring it back again. But it did so well critically. You guys loved it. It wasn't confusing to you guys. We had a great time. We had a great time doing it. 3 of us had a great time doing it. We love the Bell family, so we love the shows. We had a great time, so thank you for that. That's all church announcements. Okay, Lawrence. Now you're not going to You're not again. So we're going to get to the quarter stuff, but I first want to bring up, and everybody in here is ready. They're chomping at the bit. We're like a opera. We're going to drag it on a little bit.
Just drag it on, yeah.
Drag it on, Lawrence. But first, I wasn't about having him go shirtless for this episode. We chose not to.
Oh, man.
We thought about it. But we was like, we can't do that right now. It's family hour. We can't do that. So
whatever.
I know, whatever. Everybody think whatever. But okay. So number one, before we start talking about him and everything, thank you, everybody. Keep coming in. A major thing happened on the show this week that I actually was shocked that happened, and that is Liam actually admitted to Hope what he had did.
Well, you know why.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
You know why. Because they slept together. Once they did that, all of Liam's defenses disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he and Hope had still been separated, he would have been able to keep it from her maybe a little while longer. But once that intimacy was created and reestablished, there's nothing he can keep from her like that. It's impossible.
Amanda, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, come on. I'm surprised he lasted that long.
Yeah. He wasn't itching for skin. He was like,
he had about 20 meltdowns, James, in like a week.
Scott Clifton is amazing. I think
Yeah.
I give cheers to him because he is amazing at playing.
Yes.
You know, he is. I mean, he looked like he was seriously going to draw his skin this last
Yeah.
He was hyperventilating.
He was. Oh my God, so he did. Well, Lawrence, how do you feel about this turn events?
It's funny, man, because I wrote the episode of them waking up after they slept together. So the episode, right, like that cliffhanger, will he tell? I wrote that episode. So thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So until I got the outline for the next episode, I wasn't sure, like, are they going to drag this out or is he going to just say it? And when I read the outline that he says it, I'm like, oh, wow. Because now you can't go back.
Yeah.
And then how does Hope handle it? Is Hope capable of keeping a secret like this? Or what will she do? I have no idea. So it just kind of, it keeps the tension going. And then you know, in that episode you saw with Liam and Bill, like they're on the phone and then Bill's losing control. It's almost like when Hope comes in, Bill can't control Liam. He can't keep his stronghold on him. So I thought it was fantastic. I was like, wow, where do you go from here?
So you wrote the script leading to that. So did you want to say, can I just have him say the words? And you like, can I just at the very end go, I yelled at it? Or you like, no. So you were just told to lead up to it. You're told, end it on a
Yeah. Where my episode was, you see him in bliss. Everything is great. His dad calls. The outside world, it all starts coming back to him. And then by the end, it's like he's too vulnerable, and then Hope is seeing way too much. But yeah, I didn't get to have that at the end. I had to string it along for the next writer to, lay it out there.
I would have appreciated a scene of Liam in his sleep yelling, "I'm sorry, Vinny. Vinny, no! Get out of the way! Didn't mean it, Vinny.
That would have been good, Jeremy.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. The old
next time. The next murder mystery, and I'm writing. I'll put that in there.
Awesome.
For you, Tami. Candace Mack says, "Hello, my brother," to you. I love you so much. I'm proud of you.
That's my little sister, Candace.
We love Candace. But yes, I mean, I think it's okay. So wait a minute. So you get an outline for the episode, and then you fill it in with dialogue. That's how it works.
Yeah. We'll get an outline and fill in the dialogue, but also the tone and the beats and the rhythm of the scene and carrying the story. Because every writer gets their own outline and the outlines piggyback off of each other. So you're all connected in writing this story, and we can add things in, but we can't do something that, like, I couldn't in my script just go, I'm gonna have him tell her now. It's like, no, that doesn't happen yet. I get a phone call saying, you're in my script, man. Get out of my script.
That's a trip. So basically, so it's all a thread, but each of you are in different parts of it. You guys just like, it's almost like relay, I guess, like a relay race. It's your turn.
It is. It's very much a relay race, and we all read each other's scripts and read each other's outlines just to try to keep it as the continuity as much as we can, because it works so fast. So we have a wonderful producer who kind of is in charge of that, making sure every script is as seamless as possible.
So you are given this outline, you do your thing, and then is there a writer's room, as maybe you referenced, of just taking a look at what's been written to make sure that it doesn't cross any lines? Or
it's not so much a writer's room as a collective, because this medium moves so fast. Like there's no time to sit and break story. That's really up for Brad and his wonderful partner Michael. They kind of break the story, Because once you get an outline, you write your script, that next outline's coming in.
That's done.
So we have
Okay.
a wonderful producer named Mark who will now take the script and he'll do his revisions on it, which is pretty much Brad's revisions, to just make it as seamless as possible and go into the next script as smoothly as possible.
Do you have any say on those revisions, or
No.
interesting?
No. I mean,
Hands off?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the next one's coming in. So it's almost like you can't, in other, in prime time, you have your episode, you write your episode, you might just write one episode that season, and you've just been in the writer's room working the arc of the story. Here it's like, that next episode's coming in. You don't have time. You just trust that it's going to go into the hands and they're going to make it smooth and fix it and make it better while you're working on this other script that comes in.
It's one of those things where they've been doing it for a long time. They know the show. So I mean, I'm sure they know what to finesse or what to add or subtract to make it more bold and beautiful, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm like, do it. Like, I've only been here for like a second compared to how long the show's been on. So I'm like, do it. You tweak it, and I'm gonna learn from your tweaks. So then next time when I'm writing, I keep those revisions in mind.
Do you think they would have given you an episode to write about your character? Have they done that before?
I have. It's the first episode I wrote was when Quinn came to Carter's loft for the very first time, and they first kind of sit down and, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Then they kind of have that moment that kind of sets up everything else. And then I also wrote, has it aired yet?
Careful, Lawrence.
I don't know if it aired yet.
I want to get in trouble.
We can mute.
Go the one that you guys first said. Well, I mean, I did set everything off that we liked. But first, Shonda 972 wants to know: are you eating carbs again? You made jokes about that online about how you can. I mean,
I am, but I'm gonna stop eating them in a couple of days. So.
Something's coming down the pike.
Amanda, get ready. Something's coming.
And that doesn't mean anything steamy. I've worked out in the office before. So
that's very true. Yeah.
So,
I know.
No spoiler.
They always find a reason to have you in their shirt.
It could be anything.
Carbs. They think, folks, I'm on this keto diet thing. I lost 12 pounds so far in the last month. Very interesting. And it's the sugar part, actually. It's more the sugar turns into fat, and then the carb. I mean, it tastes good. It all tastes good. Why do carbs taste good? Why does sugar taste good?
It tastes so good, man.
Sugar tastes so good.
I gotta say this on my podcast.
Yes.
Me and my co-host were like, you know what? He don't even sniff bread. Like if somebody walks by to take bread, he's like, nope, I can't sniff bread.
Like, get away from me. No bread. Oh, I love it so much. That's the problem.
It's tough. I know. It's all good stuff. I mean, I'm not even a huge bread person, but now that I haven't had bread in the last month.
When you don't have it, you want bread.
I do. With everything. I want bread with everything all of a sudden. I'm like, I don't even eat bread that much, but now I want bread with everything. I mean, I'm talking pita bread and this kind of bread and that kind of bread. I'm like,
any bread will do.
Any bread will do. Kenneth says, can you say hi to Kenneth, please, Lawrence?
Kenneth, what's up, man? How are you? Hi.
And several folks are asking about your comic stuff. Are you watching Lois and Superman and Lois?
Yeah.
And they're all asking, but they're also asking comic book stuff. Like, are you watching?
Yes, I'm watching Superman and Lois. I just finished Jupiter's Legacy.
Okay.
Watching Batwoman, Black Lightning, The Flash.
There you go.
I'm watching all of it when
stuff.
I have the time. That's what I'm watching.
Good. So he's watching. Yeah. A lot of people are asking that. Candace wants to know because of writing. Candace, I'm gonna butcher part of your question to ask my question. That's what we do. But what's one piece of advice you would give an aspiring soap writer?
Watch. Become a fan of it. Like, watch every soap. If there's a particular soap you're in love with that you want to write for, watch it. Understand the story. It's not, a part of it is what you would do with the story, but it's more or less, can you figure out their dialogue? Can you figure out the formula? Can you see how this machine works? You know, don't come in and I'm gonna change the game and I'm gonna do this with Liam. It's like, no. You'd have to show them that you know Liam, that you know the story. So I would just say become obsessed with it. You know, when I first sat with Brad, I think I impressed them because I knew the show so well. Because my grandmother and my aunt they're day oneers. So I was watching it as a kid, and I sat in there on my first meeting with them. I was like, man, I love when y'all did crossovers with like Sheila and Lauren and all that stuff. And he was like, you know this stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And then we just hit it off. So I think just really know the show as much as you can.
It's interesting because when I had Heather Tom on about the directing, it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like it's a place of creative help. Like they're like, you want to try this? They're open. It seems like right?
I think if there's a genuine interest, you know, Brad and I talked about storylines and talked about writing pretty much when I first got there. Not for me to do it, but we just enjoyed these kind of conversations. I always love talking to him, asking him like, so what's going on in your mind right now? Like, what's the story that you want to tell that you haven't told yet? And we would just start talking about what ifs. And then eventually it's like, hey, do you want to give it a shot? And maybe it was the same for Heather. You know, she would just hang around and sit in the booth and just watch the director's work. And, you know, you show a strong interest and they trust you, they'll give you a shot.
I like that. On this show earlier last year, I had Casey Kasparek on. They wanted to write and produce. Love him to death. He did say that they would write a role for me for one episode or something if I wanted to come on. So I'm gonna say it to you since you're a writer. Write me in an episode.
Hey man, let me know. You can be our other brother from Texas.
That's fine. I'll do whatever.
I just want to be background during the next fashion show.
Yeah.
We can do better than background. We can do a little better.
I just want to be there during the fashion show.
Okay.
Bring it back.
I want to be the makeup girl.
Yeah, we'll do whatever. We'll do whatever, Lauren. We'll do whatever. I'll be a makeup. I'll be a a waiter or whatever. I'll do whatever.
I have no power. FYI, I have no power.
I know you. That's why I'm being funny. That's why I said it. But he did say that on my show. He said he would love to have me come on one day, and because I live not far, so I could.
Oh yeah, man, come on.
So I'm just saying it out loud on this show and to you and everybody out there. Somebody just come on and just do a line or two. That's fine.
Yeah,
I love it. I love that. That's great.
Can I
love your advice. Go ahead, Tami.
I was just gonna say to your point, Lawrence, about asking like what stories in your brain right now, what haven't you said that you'd like to say on the show? Can I just say, like, collectively from Amanda and James and I, while we are all into quarter, like there's like all in, but we have always wondered what it would be like between Katie and Carter.
Yeah.
So just saying, if there's going to be a triangle, if there's going to be a wrench thrown in.
Well, wait a minute, Tami. Before we go there, my girl Denise Richards, there is that. She did say she jumped in. I was like,
she grabbed the jacket. I don't know how far that'll go.
The jacket. But I was like, wait, Denise Richards and Lauren St. Vincent. I didn't even thought about that either. I was like, I'm a huge crush on Denise Richards. I'm like, I didn't even know that. Everybody knows I'm a huge crush on her. And I'm like, wait a minute, those two together. What if they really did get together? I'm like, I'll take that triangle.
The possibilities. That's what's so great about this story. Is like the possibilities.
I know. But going on Tami's point, did you? I mean, I'm sure you've seen online. I mean, in the chat room, everybody universally. Everyone loves Quarter. Like, are you pleasantly surprised by the reaction?
Yes, I am. I knew that it was going to do something because it was so out of nowhere that it's like, how can it not do something? But I think I noticed when it was gaining momentum, when I was seeing like fans go back and forth on Twitter about they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't. And we haven't even kissed yet. We were just sitting on the couch talking. And already people were like, they're going to do it. They're going to cheat. How can you do this, Derek? I'm like, it hasn't even happened. So I'm like, oh, this might be something big when it does. But I didn't think that it was going to be the Quarter that it is. I thought it would just like definitely jaw dropping, but I didn't think it was going to be what it is now.
I mean, Amanda, come on, girl. Tell what you think by quarter. Tell him, girl.
That was hot. It was hot. I was like, whoa. And Tammy goes, oh, I lost count. She's like, that's more than 6 abs.
Oh.
I can't count that high.
Our wonderful director, Cindy Pop, she directed that first love scene, if you want to call it a love scene. It was, but that's all her, man. Every beat, every moment was just perfectly crafted. And don't tell the higher ups, there's a director's cut version out there somewhere that is like, you couldn't air that on television.
Okay. Hey,
it was like,
yeah.
Like that. So,
I mean, Rena's hot. I'm sorry, Rena's hot. Most beautiful eyes. She's hot.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, how can you not fall in love? I mean, I know you're married, like I said, but I'm saying on screen, how can you not fall in love with her? The way her acting. Oh my God, the way you guys like you were yearning for each other. You each came to a different place in your life, but you both needed it. That's what I needed it. Apparently.
It was so interesting because the characters were going through that. But then just as humans, that was our first time being in front of someone that wasn't 6 feet or 8 feet away since like the beginning of this pandemic.
Oh.
So you also just had these two actors sitting on the couch going, I miss this. I miss this.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like everything was kind of like working together, which was really fantastic. But before that, you know, our spouses and our kids were the only ones that got in our spaces for a year. So yeah.
But
man.
I have to say though, I thought Quinn would be the one to make the move. I was convinced. Yeah. So when Carter went in for it, I was like, what is happening? Eric, Ridge, what is happening?
Seriously, we thought that was like, oh my God, Carter is just killing everybody he had a friendship with. That's what's going out the window, apparently.
He's done with everything.
Good job.
Just going in for that kiss. Right, Amanda? Right, guys?
Yeah.
We all thought that.
I thought it was great because it just, you know, when you see something like this, you think, oh, they must both be drunk. Oh, okay. Or Quinn probably did it first. Yeah. Like all the expectations of how this should go, we didn't go that route. They're completely sober-minded. Carter makes the first move and they're hesitant. So it's like they know what's happening. And I think for Carter, just the heartbreak, Maya and Zoe, and feeling like nothing, like garbage. And then you're at work walking around and people know this about you, you know, and finally somebody comes and looks at him and says, you're worth something, you're valuable. I think in that moment, Carter was like, I want to feel good right now. And I feel happy in this moment and forget everything else. Which is, you know, will have its own consequences, I'm sure. But
like, come on. She just fell right into the abs and you fell right into the eyes. I was like, this is it. This is it. There's no stopping this train.
Because it's also the next day when we pick up the next
day.
Did it again. I mean, we shouldn't. And then I was like,
Quinn's at your apartment. It's like, honey, you could have texted him this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, what are you doing there?
And I read in the script that when because, you know, I imagine when I got the next episode, they'll wake up like, oh no, how can we do this? But then I wrote and I'm like, oh, they do it again. Like, oh. And Rena and I, we just talked about it and we just like, let's explore what it's like to know you should feel bad, to know you should feel guilty, but for whatever reason, in this moment right here, you don't feel bad. And you're gonna go for it again because everything before this and after Zoe made you feel like less than nothing, like nothing. And if there's a single moment where you can feel just cherished, it's selfish, but you know, he went for it. He just wanted to feel cherished, you know?
You both were rejected. That's like she's being rejected by her husband.
Right.
He doesn't want to have sex with her. And then and Zoe's not just some other guy, some other dude. So I'm like,
Dude.
you're like, hello.
Yeah. And my aunt is a really big Bold and the Beautiful fan. So she was the first one to text me, be like, what are you doing? Carter would never do this. Carter's a stand-up guy. Carter's. And I'm like, I don't think you really know who Carter is.
Right.
You haven't seen him in this situation before, and you've never seen him under this kind of pressure. And I think Carter's the kind of guy that's good, but that goodness takes effort.
He's human.
Like he's very human. And with Zoe and the breakup, it was the right combination to make him go left, to make him go, I'm gonna do me for a second. And I don't think it was premeditated, but it was, Quinn was there and they were opening up to each other. And it's like, I have never felt this good in forever. And I think Carter, although didn't see it, he was aware that Zoe was hesitant throughout the engagement.
Well, he saw it.
He saw it, but he chose to like, no, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna prove to her that I won't hurt her. And then in like a couple of days, Quinn is looking at him in a way that he wished Zoe looked at him. Yes. Like he wished he had that. You know,
and vice versa. The way Carter looked at her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what do you do, man?
Well, we know what you did.
We know what you did.
It's time. So I'm like,
why are you asking now?
Yeah, well, that's the question now. We know what you done did. So I mean, so several times over, you guys done did that. So I'm like, okay, we know what happened there. But it felt like when you guys were in the bed together afterwards, it felt like you were in an island, and like the world was somewhere else, and you guys were just really enjoying each other. And it was like, and I felt it. I mean, I felt that. It just felt like it was like it was the bubble. You were in a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just want to stay there.
Yes.
You just want to stay there just for a little while longer. And then Quinn's phone goes off and it's a text from Zoe. And it's like,
yeah, that outside world comes in.
Yeah, and she feels bad. And then Carter starts to realize, oh my God, Rich, Eric, your brains are exploding.
Well, then you get confronted, basically. I mean, they all start kind of, I just wonder what's going on with and Zoe being crazy, her crazy ass. It's like she's the victim. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no.
But that whole scene where Shauna does step in and go, and I love Shauna's delivery. She was just kind of like, we're adults and I'm not in love with him, but I had a good time. Like we did. It was very matter of fact that an adult would say if they're not cheating on somebody. She's like, he's not with you. And I'm not with anybody. And so we got together. And I was just like, that's right. That's how it would be.
But let's back up to Zoe walking in.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping for a full reveal.
Me too.
But no, she goes Quinn's under the bed. I'm like, no, I cannot believe she's under the bed.
I thought it was too soon.
Quinn would never be under the bed.
Right.
She put it there. She worked it out.
I think both things are interesting. I think that Quinn would never go under the bed if it wasn't an Eric issue.
Yes.
She'd be like, Zoe, whatever. And I think Carter in the office with Shauna and Zoe and Quinn would have said to Zoe, mind your business, if it wasn't an Eric issue. Like the fact that there's an affair is making them feel all the guilt. When in reality, Zoe, it's none of your business. We're broken up.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's that thing. He's a weight. And I feel like Carter and Quinn are only blissful and cool and easy when they're around each other. You pull them apart, you add more people into their world, that's when the guilt weighs. That's when the what have I done weighs. But if they're together alone in a room for a long period of time, those feelings fade away that are like bad, the guilt fades away, and all they see is each other.
But you gave me, and I don't know about James and Amanda, the moment during the week of me screaming at the TV when Carter has this realization that he's his best self with Zoe. I'm my best self with you. Blah, blah. I was like, oh my God. What are you doing?
It's Carter. He feels bad. this is not his normal path, so to speak. And when he sees her, and she's about to cry, and he's like, "Oh, what have I done?" Right? And now he feels pressured. I could be wrong, but I feel like he feels pressured now because Quinn's like, "You got to get back with Zoe because I got to get back with Eric," you know? And he's like, "Okay."
No patience for Zoe.
Pour that drink.
Done with Zoe.
There was an element we were trying to have come off where Carter cannot shake his feelings for Quinn. Whatever this bond is, whatever this thing is, it's not going away. So for him in that moment, it's like, I need to get back to who I thought I was. And that was right before I found out about Zende. Like, I need to get back to that guy. So maybe if I'm with you, it can curve this. So him going back to her, I don't think it's fully conscious, but there is a level of, I'm using this to get me right. It's not 100% fully in love, fully blissful Zoe. It's just like, no, I don't have self-control over this. And maybe if I go back to this, it'll help me have some sort of control. So yeah, it's that thing. That's why I think when he kissed her and hugged her, it's like, dude, you still look like you're in pain. Like, you don't look like somebody who is should be happy.
And so did Quinn. When she and Eric were hugging, she looked like somebody was stabbing her in the back.
Yeah.
These two. She said, Carter, you can't tell a soul. And then she runs to her house. As soon as she shuts the door and she's like, I need you to get over here right now. She's like, immediately tell somebody. I'm like, what is she doing?
That night. And Carter didn't tell anybody. Carter was sitting alone in his apartment by himself, and she's over there with Shauna, just giving her all the details.
Well, somebody wants to know, have you this is a side note, have you been watching Carla over on Y&R right now? She's doing a great job filling in.
I have. I would watch her do it live because we can watch their feed from our dressing rooms. So when I see she's in, I would just watch her do it live. Yeah. So that was fun. Yes.
Yeah, somebody asked that. She's doing a great job over there playing Amanda. We talked about it earlier today on our show Y&R this morning. So I'm like,
is there a way to bring Hillary back, and then you can have Hillary and Amanda, so then you can have Michelle and Carla?
He's a writer.
Like, no,
we said in our show, we're going, it's a catch-22. Everybody's reminded how good Carla is, but of course we love Michelle. I mean, that's her role. So it's like we're trying to think how. And Tami said it. How can we keep her? I'm not gonna bring back to B&B. How can we keep her on Y&R? She's so good.
But I want Maya. I'm being selfish. Like, if she's gonna come anywhere, like,
right?
Come home.
I'm a little bitter because B&B did her wrong.
I think so too.
So it's like B&B doesn't deserve her.
Oh.
See, people are rough, Lawrence. These women are rough. Not more like, sure, bring it back on. I know it's your buddy and everything. They're like, it's rough out there for a pimp. I think so. Okay, so we talked about her ugly dress.
Oh,
Zoe's snake-filled. I couldn't stop staring at it because it was a lot for me to look at.
it was a lot.
It was a lot. So minus that, what do you think, Lawrence? Zoe's trying so hard to get Carter back. I mean, so you just mentioned your character is probably thinking, I can get back to where I was before the Zende thing happened. But I guess it's kind of true to life sometimes. You think you can go back in time with somebody. That happens sometimes. You go, well, I think if we just get back to this space we were in. I mean, it's like, I can't do any spoilers. I'm going to say how you phrase this question. You can't do any spoilers. I'm going to any spoilers. But it's. I won't say it. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get any spoilers.
No, say it, and I'll work my way around.
I just wanted. Do you think that Carter and Zoe are endgame? in the end. Like this is all stuff they're just going through all this stuff to at the end they will be together. They'll realize to be together and would you want them? I mean, I just wonder about or is Quinn and Carter? And I mean, are they the end game?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think that's what's really cool about this story is it shoots off into so many different directions.
Yeah.
I mean, for Carter, does this make him empathize more with Zoe?
Right.
With
That's
like,
what I mean. Right.
I see how, you know, Thomas and what those guys did to you. So now when you were with me, you were acting out of character. I kind of did the same thing. Or does it make it go, Carter go, well, if you didn't do this to me, then I wouldn't be in. I don't know. I think it can go in either way. I don't know. I don't know what's end game. And that's
well, you actually answered it in a good way. I want you. That's what it was. That's what I mean. Like now that Carter is flawed,
finally,
is it even play? Yeah, I mean, really flawed. Is it an even playing field now for him? Going well, would that help him make his decision? Go well. Let me try. I was bad too, so here I go. I mean, and she didn't sleep with Zende first of all, so she didn't. You know.
Oh, that only because he said no.
She would have. No. Okay, if Ridge didn't show up, she would have.
And I think for Carter,
I said it on purpose.
He can. I mean, Lawrence, I can
Lawrence
see
Carter,
how he can.
Yes.
They blur. Except I haven't slept with my boss's wife, so we're not exactly the same. Jeez. I think that Zoe still attempted to cheat on him. So I think you're latching on to her. You want to go back to the way things were, and you're willing to get over your trust issues. But did you really get over it? Like, did you really deal with the heartache? No, you're just trying to latch on because you can't afford to be this guy you're becoming, but you still haven't worked through why you don't trust her. And I think that's going to be a mess, or not. We'll have to wait and see.
Can we make a suggestion to Carter?
Yes.
To have him convince Quinn to get rid of her cell phone, because her being on the phone in her living room with her back to the door saying we have to take the secret to our graves. This is going to continue. You understand these cell phone calls are going to continue.
Yes, exactly.
You need to break that phone. That's what you need to do. You need to break that damn phone.
But then she might show up at Carter's door because she has no phone. We get in more trouble.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
Right when he was about to work out too, Tami.
I know, right?
He has no shirt. He has to open the door with no shirt.
Conveniently, it's why he's always working out.
You know, it's funny. I always feel like that's an old soap staple back in the day. It used to always, like during the summertime or spring, all the shirts came off the guy. That was always kind of an inside joke, kind of in the business. It's like, guys start working out, out of hibernation, start working out, and all the soaps did it. I mean, all my children, all back in the day would do is all of a sudden the guys' shirts were always coming off, and women are in scanty clad outfits, and it's kind of to me it's a throwback to that old time period of when he
didn't B&B have that area? I don't know if it was off like a balcony area where there was like a bench press.
Yeah, the Sky
you'd
Lounge.
see the guys working out.
Oh, yeah, the Sky Lounge. I forgot about that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't either. No.
That's right. They did. They used to show that set all the time. That's right. The guys would work out. At work, they go work out.
Oh yeah, I felt like I was in that set like every episode back then. It was so much.
Every time poor Carter's out there working out.
Like, man.
They're saying that Lawrence should submit those scenes when Carter finds out about Zoe and Zende for next year's episodes.
Oh wow, yeah.
We'd never seen Carter yell before.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that
was really the first time that Carter exploded.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh God.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't want to get on his bad side. I was like, ooh.
Was that classic Hollywood?
Yeah.
They also want to know. In the chat room, they also want to know, how did you? They like the Sky Lounge. So funny. How did you react when they actually kind of said, okay, you read a script, it was like you and Quinn talking? Was there any reaction like, well, we're talking? Like, we're gonna be in the scenes together? We're gonna be scenes together? Like, what was your initial reaction? They want to know that.
Well, Brad gave me a call before this stuff started happening, and he said, like, so I'm thinking of a new storyline. And it was kind of after the breakup of Carter and Zoe, so we kind of finished that part of that chapter. And he gave me a call, and I'm thinking about a new storyline. I'm thinking about Carter and Quinn. I'm like, what? What? And I immediately was just like, that is brilliant. He didn't tell me any details. I was like, that's brilliant, because no one's going to see that coming. No one's going to see that coming. I said, that is fantastic. So when I first got that news, I was just like through the moon of just like, what could it be? What can it could be anything. You know, do I go to the dark side? Does she come to the good side? Do we meet in the middle? I don't know. Right. It could be anything.
That's true.
You know?
And so I think everybody in chat room, us three, everybody, we're all just, I think, salivating at the prospect of when it all comes out. Because we just said, no one's gonna expect it. Like no one's gonna, no one's gonna be doing it. I mean, if both people usually have sense of humor sometimes too with their scripts sometimes. I'd be curious to see somebody like them two together. Like, I'm just curious to see who would be like, really? Like, you can't, like, I mean, it's gonna be very interesting when it does. I mean, I can see Richard's reaction already. I mean, I'm just very curious. Brooke's reaction. I'm just really curious what people are going to say, because it's nice guy Carter, the lawyer that was part of the family for 100 years, and now it's COO. But like, I think Quinn being Quinn. I all can't wait.
Do they even talk to each other? You're like, let right. alone they had a conversation. I think Brooke, that's what
she's going to say something, because she'll be like, that time when Carter defended Quinn.
Thank you. I was just fixing to bring that up. I was like, oh no, we know Carter doesn't cheat because he's
out of his league.
Things. He goes in there and takes up for her, and I'm like, no, what are you doing?
And to Brooke, anybody, like to Brooke. Yeah, he's not a serial cheater. He doesn't live in this place.
I will say that my gut initially feels more sorry for Quinn when this all comes out, because to have Brooke and Zoe come after her, Zoe's, psycho. And Brooke's just very passionate about the people that she loves. So I feel bad for Quinn.
George Blackman said, that's scared me out of me, with him being upset and yelling. One of the fans said that when you were yelling. They scared him. They like that. They said they like the Sky Lounge scenes with Carter and Tomas. They're going back in time.
Oh, wow.
They're going back in time. Okay.
Me and Pearson, that was Pearson's time.
Yes.
Yeah. That was, anytime we get scenes where you just get to have a friend is nice. We don't have too many guy just friends talking scenes. So anytime we get that, it's fun.
They're like, yes, the scene.
You're about to lose another one.
You're about to lose Ridge. I guess that's
Ridge is a hypocrite. Ridge is gonna be like, Carter, so disappointed in you.
Shut up.
That's a great Ridge.
No room to judgy McJudgy. None.
That's none. With Tami, let's not forget Quinn's look crazy too.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm worried Carter's going off a cliff. That's what I'm worried.
Yeah. Don't count Tami. Don't count Tami out. I would say don't count Tami out either. But don't count Quinn out. I wouldn't count her out. I would not count her out either. It would be a very interesting thing if Zoe and Brooke teamed up together, and now
I plead the fifth.
It's the only thing. Can't say anything. Can't say anything, folks. But the thing is, what I'm saying, it's just kind of like this choice of storyline. I've been dealing with another show called When Calls the Heart. The Hardys online. They're upset about a coupling choice, and I've been on there defending whatever. And it's one of those things where sometimes as writers, and you're a writer, I'm a writer, we write, you are creating something to create more story. Like this, it's like when you write a story, you're always trying to perpetually create more story out of it to keep it going. That's kind of
Yeah,
the point.
yeah.
And Bold's been on 34 years. I mean, they got to keep it going. And so people get upset when they say the same storylines are being redundant. Well, now you have something totally different that's not redundant at all. It's something like different. So it's kind of like you want to keep it going. So this storyline creates so many possibilities. Everybody's so excited because it creates so many.
Yeah. And as much as it seems like it's left field, it's not. It's like Carter and Quinn have been working together and going to Christmases at Forrester's for probably like 8 to 9 years. They've been in each other's spaces for like almost a decade. While you haven't seen Eric and Quinn on screen, they were having some serious, like, marriage issues. Carter is heartbroken over what happened with Zoe. So to have these two people kind of find some weird solace, it seems weird because it's Carter and Quinn, but when you think about the world they're in, it's not that crazy. It's not that out there. And if you look at Carter, he's such a good guy. Why would he get with Quinn patients for like almost a decade? He fell for Maya when she got out of jail. She came out of prison looking for a baby, and Carter's like, "Ooh, who is that?"
Oh my God!
Yeah. Right? And then Zoe,
So true.
it's part of like a baby trafficking story, and Carter's still like, "I see the good in you." So it tracks with the kind of, and then Quinn fell in love with Eric, this good-natured, good guy, big heart, and I'm like, well, Carter's a version of that as well. So it's not too left field.
Also, something that's really interesting. This is actually, both of you have no real agenda against each other. There's no agenda. It was kind of literally, you both are coming from a hurt place. Her agenda was, I'm trying to help Zoe. That's only her agenda. But she has no real agenda against you. Nothing. I mean, there's nothing. You nothing against her. I mean, it was like, it just, you guys didn't really interact that much. So
if anything, Carter should have been taking Eric's side in those conversations, but he wasn't. He was like, I hear you, I hear what you're saying, and it sucks. And she's like, yeah, there's just no bias with them. I think that's what's safe, is that, she's not judging him. And I think she's surprised that he's not judging her. I think that's what kind of starts it going.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those friendships or relationships where you don't realize how easy it is to talk to this other person. And that in and of itself is intoxicating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were playing that. Like, why is it so easy to talk to you? It shouldn't be. Like, I should be uncomfortable, but I'm not. And even, the body language on the couch, just how relaxed they were. And it was the first time you've seen them relaxed in probably months, since, the whole thing with Vegas, and Quinn hasn't been at peace in probably a year. You haven't seen her smile and relax, and Carter probably for the last few months, and just see them just relaxed and chilling. It's like, that's why I was getting comments from the fans like, you better not. I'm like, nothing happened yet. We're just sitting on the couch.
We could tell.
But there was something happening.
Just sitting on the couch. That's
sitting on the couch, man.
Well, you guys did stand up, and then things happen. I mean, you just stand up.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the couch, but that's no story. It's a semantics come there.
She did see him in his underwear, like, before. I mean, things happened.
Things happen. They fall into the abs or whatever. It's in her eyes. But I think it's a very interesting coupling. I think it's something that it's taking attention, taking the B&B world by storm. It's amazing. I'm liking it, and I'm liking the fact that no one's bringing up race. I like that. Just personally, as a person of color, that it's just a relationship that they're invested in the characters. I love that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that never even crossed my mind.
I love that. I love that. See, the person of color, I always think about that. I always think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it all the time. Just like, because any kind of coupling or pairing on screen, we all, as he just said, he knows, we're thinking, will they pair them, or will they not go that direction, or will they? So when they do, I can't help but notice it. But I didn't bring up any of my discussions either, because I don't want to bring attention to it. I think it's a great coupling. But as we're on here with you, I just want to say I'm glad that that's not become an issue.
I know that I'm sorry, the fans brought up the age issue, which annoyed the bejesus
yeah.
out of me.
Oh, Tammy got so mad.
She did get mad. She got mad. I was like,
That I noticed.
I go, hello, she ain't that old, first of all. So like, let's calm that down for a second. Because she married an older man on the show. Hello, he's the one who's older.
Yeah.
She's a veteran actress, but she's not like
and I'm not 20, I'm not 25.
Right.
I'm not
exactly.
I'm not 35. You know, I'm 38. I'm all the way grown. So
you grown up. It's all grown up.
I think it's I mean, I'll tell you that the interracialness of it crossed my mind because I just didn't know if that was going to be, I don't know how it's going to be received or not.
Yeah.
I was hoping that there'll be enough stock in these characters where you don't see that. You've been with Carter for so long. We should be beyond this, but you never know. But the ageism, yes, that surprised me when I would come across that or see that their age difference, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? You just said Carter and Donna,
right?
Like I was so confused by. So I think people are, the storylines affecting people in an amazing way, but it's also affecting them in a negative way, which is a good story. And I think sometimes people have to latch on to what they can see. They can't figure out why it's rubbing them the wrong way. So they latch on to something that's obvious, but it's rubbing you the wrong way because you don't want to see Eric hurt, or you don't want to see this affair, and you're not able to articulate that. So you go, their age. It's like, really? You said Donna and Carter. The age difference is like the same.
You said it.
Yeah, they did. And my thing is, even if it was an age difference, who cares? I mean, on another show, on Days of Our Lives, they did the same thing with this beautiful actress, Lauren Kozlow, who's beautiful, first of all. They paired her with a younger Brandon Barash, who's younger. I'm, again, not super young. He's not like he's 12. And they got mad at that too. And I'm like, but they look good together. Like, so to me, it's like older men, younger women, they say some stuff, but they usually get away with that. So it's the double standard bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Like,
was there an issue with Katie and Wyatt?
I don't remember hearing one. See, I don't remember hearing one.
I think you might have been so caught up on the fact that like that was your dad's wife. You were so caught up on how incestuous that was.
Yeah.
There was that.
I forgot about that.
But they were hot. They were great. I loved that story.
We did too.
I loved seeing Darren and Heather work. It was so easy and fun and playful. I was team Wyatt and Katie.
Totally.
So are we. We say it all the time. We love them together.
And it annoyed Bill.
Annoyed Bill.
Anytime you can annoy Bill is a good time.
Which you said something was key. They were playful. It made Katie playful. She wasn't so serious. When she's with Bill, it's always crying and seriousness.
He's breaking her heart all the time.
All the time. All the time. We love Don Diamante, so we don't care. It's fine. But on Bill, we love him too. Bill. But on Bill, it's just like but when she was with Wyatt, it was playful. It was just like she felt sexy and fun, and they were having and Darren Brooks is one of my favorite actors anyway. He's another one. I want him on the show. I can get him on the show because I want him on the show. He's another one I just love to death too.
I think that shows like Brad's brilliance with these pairings, because even with Wyatt and Katie, with Carter and Quinn, with where the characters are, you easily get why they would want to be with those people or around those people. You get why Katie would want someone like Wyatt around after everything she's been through, and the way Carter and Quinn are looking at each other. You get why you'd want to be in that environment. Even if it's bad for you, you can understand why. And that's Brad. That's him coming up with these interesting pairings that don't make sense, but make completely sense if you think about it.
Well, I'm saying Bold and Beautiful this year alone and part of last year have made some very interesting decisions that worked for me, that I'm like, I would have never thunk it.
Thomas and the mannequin. We did a whole bunch of stuff.
I still say that to me, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then literally some of my performances gave some of the best performances of Matthew Atkinson and Annika Noel's life. I mean, those were,
dude,
it worked.
And that's another one. I love that, because on paper you're like, how is this gonna make sense? And then you got Thomas tearing up because he can't figure out what's real or fake, and then he passes out, and you're like, oh, like I'm about to cry over this mannequin storyline. And it's like, because Brad knows how to like, okay, I see what you expect this is. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to go all the way over here with it. And it works like every time he does something that seems out there, it drops into something real. I love it.
We had Matt on recently, and Matt and Tami have their own little thing. And Tami completely came over to the dark side, and now she's. But it's funny because he cried on our show. He got really terrible. He was talking about the character, like he really was investing in
And
this
just mental
storyline.
health. You know, it was a story about mental illness and the sensitivity around that subject matter, treating it with respect and integrity and humanity.
And that's, you know, because it could have easily not have been, you know, it could have easily been this kind of creepy mannequin story that's kind of fun to watch, and then we kind of move on after it's done. But they chose to use that in a nice soapy way to talk about a real issue. And sometimes you have to talk about real things in that way. It's easier to watch, easier to digest, and you kind of just slip that medicine in there with the honey. And then before you know it, like we're all crying about Thomas needs help. And we hate, like Thomas was a jerk.
Right. Oh, Tami will tell you. Tami will tell you. I'll tell you.
Thomas is not a nice person.
I had to talk Tami down. I had to talk her down. I was like, Tami, come on now. You can't kill him. You can't. Tami, calm down.
I mean, he sold it. I mean, it was a combination of the writing and the acting, his acting partners. I mean, again, Scott Clifton. I mean, they all just. Oh my God, it was so good. And then you're right, that was another surprise. They were like, okay, that actually worked. Okay, got it. Everybody made fun of B&B at first and all that stuff. And I did another show where we were talking about that. And they were saying, well, we get that they were. Oh, well, my When Calls to Heart. They're saying we know the soaps were the first to go back to work and be the guinea pigs. And B&B was one of the first to use dummies and things and spouses. I
had to kiss a mannequin. I've been there.
So how was it?
Plastic.
It was gentle. It was very gentle.
Gentle. You want to pop it or anything? You want to make sure you pop it or anything? But we understood. We totally understood that we wanted they had to figure it out. People had to figure it out. And I you know, when I went on a Jimmy Kimmel Live thing, I realized I always forget all the sets are small. They look big on television on purpose to film. So people need to understand when you have crew members and this and that, and it's like you guys have to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think it was brilliant to because we were getting all this publicity from using mannequins anyway. So it's like, then let's use it and then tell the story we want to tell with it instead of just it being this thing that's going around in the news and social media. Let's just do it. I thought it was great. And then Annika got to kind of be the mannequin. And she was, that was so much fun.
Brilliant. Creepy.
We had her on too recently, and she was talking about that too, how much you got to play a different character, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it worked. And everybody in the chat agrees it worked. I mean, it's just. So I guess that the moral of the story is take chances, see where they land. Sometimes they land fine, and sometimes they don't. And with Quarter, so far it's landing. The Quarter is landing fine on the table. So it's on the table, it's landing fine. Heads up or tails up, whatever you guys want to use. Put up bump. Yes, I know it's church day. I know it's church day, folks. Leave me alone. But yes, the Quarter is fine. So again, as another, like I said, again, when everybody finds them, they'll be like, "What in the F? Like, really? Like, it's gonna be very interesting when how this plays out." Very excited.
Can we just say one more thing about why we like Quarter so much, and never realized this. If it wasn't for the storyline, we wouldn't have realized this about Quinn. Quinn's love or attachment to Eric is based on his approval of her.
Wow.
His approval of her validates her, says to her that she's a good person, that she deserves to be loved. She doesn't have to jump through hoops with Carter. She doesn't have to prove anything to Carter. And I think that ease that you had spoken about, that's where the power of this relationship is going to lie in.
Yeah, I love that. Because with this pairing, you don't have to do exposition. Like Carter knows almost everything Quinn has done, and vice versa.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. But because of that, you're right. There is that, like, I kidnapped Liam. I've done these things, yet you'll still sit here and talk to me and tell me that I deserve to be loved. And Carter's like, yeah. And then, she'll say, and these lines in anyone else's mouth can just kind of come out as cliches, like, I see why Zoe loved you, or all that stuff. I'm sure all that stuff. But when Rena does, when Quinn does it, it's like she really is seeing into Carter's soul, and she's saying, you are X, Y, and Z. And it's been a while since he's heard that. So yeah, all of it. I think it's interesting, man. When you have to find value in a significant other to the point where if they don't give you value, you feel lesser than. And when you have been treated like second place since you moved to LA, what happens when those two people get in the room and appreciate each other? It's like, if there wasn't going to be an affair, there would have been an emotional affair, like day one. Anyway. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's very interesting. I can't wait to see where I wish I can say more, but I can't give anything away.
I just gotta say, I'm really worried for Carter, okay? Because you have Zoe, who we all know came across the world following someone, stalking someone, okay? And then you have Quinn, who pushes people off bridges and
like multiple times, right? She just pushes people off of stuff. That's like Quinn's thing.
Yeah,
attacks people with her jewel tools.
I totally get it. Yes.
I'm worried for him.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, I hope so.
He has abs to save the day. He'll be fine. Fine. Don't worry about Carter. He'll handle it. He can handle it. Thank you for being on the show. Always, you're welcome. You're part of the family. You're welcome to the show anytime.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for celebrating with us and giving us some insight. So thank you all.
Yes. And I do watch your show from time to time. I have been watching. I do like to see what you guys think about certain storylines. I love your insight.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Tammy, we better watch what we say.
Yeah, what's up, Tammy? It's all Tammy. All Tammy. Just kidding. It's all Tammy. So that's Tami and Thomas. We don't have to about that. It's not anybody else. We appreciate that, and I know some of the other cast members told they have watched our show here and there and stuff. They support you guys. All support us, and even anybody in case they all support us. And we appreciate because we love the show. We love the show. So the people behind it, and we really enjoy it. And we know how hard it is to put together a show every day. It's not easy to put together. You guys are doing. You're filming so many things at once, and it's not easy work. But you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job writing and acting. Doing a great job. So
thank you, man. Thank you, dude. It's fun, and it's gonna get fun. It's gonna get more fun. It's gonna be an interesting summer.
Can't wait. Well, Lawrence, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Oh man, Instagram, I'm L St. Vic. Twitter, I'm L St. Victor. Facebook, I'm just Lawrence St. Victor.
There you go, kids. Amanda Russ, tell them what's going on.
You can find me on all the socials at The Bold and Beautiful Podcast.
And Tami Gavea.
On Instagram, Tami.Gavea, and on Twitter and Facebook at Tami Gavea.
Bold and Beautiful Universe is on Facebook and on Instagram, and Bold_Universe is on Twitter. And you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. We're not on next weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend, so we will not be back. We'll be back the first weekend in June. This is June already. We're already halfway through the year. I don't know, but we'll be back that first weekend in June on that Sunday. But next weekend, I'll be with my kids and grandkids in Sacramento. So I'm very excited to see the first time in a year. I haven't seen them in a year. So I'm very, very excited to see them. Meet my new grandbaby. I'm very excited. But we will be back, as always, talking about Bold and the Beautiful. And we want to thank you for watching us today, everybody in the chat room. Thanks for chatting us up and giving your two 10 cents. And we will see you next time. Be careful, everybody out there.